When looking at the question, how might you integrate the teaching of programming with other aspects of the primary curriculum, we must first look at what programming is. According to Adrian and Kathy Kingsley Hughes, programming is the ability to talk to the computer in a language it can understand and using grammar and syntax that it can follow to get it to perform useful tasks for you. This means that in order for technology to be used, it has to be programmed first. Eric Schmidt, the chairman of Google, states that the current curriculum focuses on teaching how to use software but gives no insight into how it is made. Therefore, within the new curriculum, Key Stage 1 children are expected to be able to create and debug simple programs, and Key Stage 2 need to learn to design, write, and debug programs that accomplish specific goals. It can be argued that it is easier to include programming within the foundation stage and Key Stage 1, as all subjects are often taught around themes, such as nursery rhymes or stories throughout the week. For example, when looking at the story of the Gruffalo in a group, children could write to the story in their own words with an alternative ending of literacy, and then program Little Mouse's journey through the woods using a Bee-Bot or JIT. However, it can be debated that when learning programming, the focus should be on programming instead of other subjects, as it is difficult to separate attainment. Gove claims that it is the skills of programming that can be applied to future learning across the curriculum, and that children can use it in later life. The Shutdown or Restart report states that programming is about logic, abstraction, and problem solving, and that children who engage in these tasks are developing thinking skills that they can transfer to many other areas. For instance, when looking back to this example of the Gruffalo, the children would develop their learning through talk. Barnes believes that children learn through exploratory and presentational talk, and for this example, both of these would be fulfilled, as they would have to work collaboratively as a group and then present their algorithm to the class. Another aspect or skill developed through programming is the understanding that it is acceptable to make mistakes. It is almost impossible to create an algorithm that is perfect straight away when using programs such as J2Webby or Scratch. Making and then solving mistakes when programming is called debugging. By introducing this term to children, the teacher is indicating that mistakes are common and acceptable. Without mistakes, there would be no challenge to programming. Sennett argues that it is by fixing things that we often get to understand how they work. This is a message that can then be transferred across the curriculum, as children will use algorithms all the time and maybe even create their own. For example, in mathematics, the children will learn algorithms for addition and subtraction, which they can test. Lambic believes that computer programming should be integrated within mathematics lessons, as it motivates children by showing them how mathematical skills can be used within a context. This leads on to the idea that through using algorithms every day, children will begin to understand that technology is programmed and does not just work magically. This development of understanding was supported by Papert when he stated that children should learn to program the computer instead of the computer programming them. This highlights the importance of learning to program in schools, as children will often use technology in other subject areas. They should understand that it was them that programmed the camera to take the photograph by pressing the button. For young children, it is not as important for them to know the language of programming, but instead it is more significant for them to understand what programming is and how it can be applied in other contexts. This is demonstrated by integrating it throughout the curriculum. In addition to this, the underlying skills developed through programming are hugely important for children to develop. Programming enables children to develop their imagination and curiosity. This suggests that integrating other curriculum aspects within this can have a positive effect.